Pierce. Listen, did you tell Moreau that I was coming over here tonight? Well, then where the hell is he? Of course I'm in his home, if you can call this museum a home. No, I didn't see the maid. And what are you laughing about? Oh. No. No sign of any boogeyman that I can see. All right, I'm going to give him a few more minutes and then I'm leaving. Look, I tell you, I'm alone here. What? No, nothing. Jack, what are you laughing about? Who's wearing a dress? Uncle Milty? Jack, does your aunt know about this? Oh, Milton Burrow. Yes. Yes, I'm hanging out now. Yes, I'm sure the fishnet hose make all the difference in the world. All right, Jack, try and breathe every now and then, all right? I'll never understand television. You left out the underwear brand.
Truth of the loop. I took a shot.
You are Mr. Moreau's maid?
Housekeeper. I am Marella with a yachtness, the housekeeper, personal secretary, confidant, and friend. We leave out the underwear brand. And this is Cupid.
Exactly, what is Hubert?
Cupid is the monster with no face. It was a movie Mr. Moreau made back in 1941. Of course, you wouldn't remember that. It was when your father was running the studio.
And Hubert was in that movie?
No! Mr. Moreau was in the movie. Cupid was in the Hollywood Wax Museum. That is until a few weeks ago, the owners of the museum felt he just wasn't worth the space anymore. So instead of melting it down into an extra shallow, they gave it to Mr. Moreau as a courtesy. Problem is, we don't know what to do with him either. So, we hang him in the closet. Perhaps we'll do the same thing with Mr. Moreau when you're through with him, huh? What do you think?
I think it would be best for all concerned if you told Mr. Moreau that I'm here, right now.
Oh, you in a hurry? You have someone else to find tonight as well?
Miss Yorkester, I'm a very busy man. I can only stay here a short time, and I would rather spend that time talking with Mr. Moreau than arguing with you.
Don't like picking on someone your own size, huh?
Miss Yorkester.
Don't sit in that chair!
Would you tell Mr. Moreau that I'm here, please?
Certainly. May I take your coat?
I won't be staying long.
Oh, I'm glad to hear that. And don't hurt Hubert!
Boss? Boss? What do you want?
I want to get out of here!
Not with a face like that!
Open this door, Maxie!
Oh, God, he knows my name!
Maxie, it's me, Mr. Pierce!
That you, Mr. Pierce?
Yes!
Anybody else hurt in the accident?
Open the door!
Yes, sir. Who do you got with you?
Another dummy. Here, take it.
Oh, I don't like this.
Maxie, how's the front tire doing?
Oh, I'm still leaking air. It'll probably be flat in an hour.
Then why don't you fix it?
Outside?
No, pull it up in here in front of the sofa.
Oh, I don't like it out there. This place gives me the creeps.
I thought you said you knew Mr. Moreau.
Oh, sure. I saw him around the studio a lot, but I've never been out to his home before.
Why should it bother you?
Mr. Moreau always bothered me, even when he wasn't dressed up like this guy.
Maxie, for all the monsters Mr. Moreau has played, he's just an ordinary man, just like me. Just like you. Well, just like me at any rate.
Yeah, well, you never met him before, have you?
No.
You don't know. Mr. Moreau, he can do things.
So what sort of things?
Oh, I don't like to talk about them. But he ain't like you or me.
Actually, that was all just a big promotional campaign.
A what?
Well, in order to get more people to come and see his films, some press agents started stories that Mr. Moreau would hold seances here in his home, that he had psychic powers.
But he doesn't powers.
Yes, the power to keep a rumor going. And Lord knows it's followed him around for 40 years. And it sold tickets, but the whole thing was a facade.
Oh,
You know what a facade is?
no.
It's a false front.
Oh, like my sister-in-law.
No. I mean, it's like the buildings on the back lot. The whole thing is just for show. Mr. Moreau is not a medium.
No, he's a pretty small guy.
Let me put this another way. The only spirits Mr. Moreau has ever raised were in a bottle, in his back trailer.
Oh!
Now you see what I'm talking about.
Sure, but he ain't like you or me.
Go fix the tire.
But it's dark out there,
That's
boss.
because it's night out there, Max.
Exactly my point.
Look, if you wish to remain in my service, it would behoove you to
Yeah,
do
well,
what I
your
ask.
dad never made
That's
you
another
do.
thing we should get straight. I'm not my father.
You can say that again.
What?
I said I didn't hear you. Say that again.
You are no longer working for my father. No one is. And the sooner you and everybody else in the studio gets that through your head, the sooner the studio can make the transition between the reins of leadership. Understood?
Everything except that part about the rain.
Never mind. It wasn't important.
I disagree.
Mr. Moreau.
In the flesh, such as it is, it is always important to know who holds the reins of leadership, whether it be the captain of a ship or the driver of the stagecoach. It is imperative that one knows who is the boss.
Mr. Moreau, I'm Spencer Pierce.
I've made a few westerns in my time, and on one or two occasions been called on to drive the stagecoach. Believe me, when you're up there behind 6 thundering horses, you've got to know who's the boss. Luckily for me, the horses knew what the hell they were doing. I'm finished. You can talk.
Mr. Moreau, I'm Spencer Pierce.
Pierce? Wonderful family name. Would have been a good stage name. Solid, simple, easy to remember. Pierce. So tell me, how's your father?
He's dead.
Oh, correct. Smart lad.
Mr. Moreau, the reason I came over...
Man, see, that's you.
Oh, yes, sir, Mr. Moreau.
Well, stumble over here and say hello.
How are you, Mr. Moreau?
Oh, I'm fairly able to get around. You working for the kid here?
Oh, yes, sir.
Not like old times, is it?
Oh, no, sir, it's not.
Well, don't worry about it. Nothing is.
Do you two gentlemen know each other?
Since I first started working for your father, back when a studio was a family, back when stars were protected and groomed for their jobs, way back, when a hideous, blood-sucking monster could get a little sympathy.
Mr. Moreau, I'm really pushing the clock here, so I'm not...
Maxie, you're not letting the kid push you around, are you?
Oh, no, sir.
Move it, Maxie!
Yes, sir, boss.
Now, Mr. Moreau, there are several things I would like to discuss with you.
I don't think so.
What?
You don't want to discuss anything. To discuss is to interchange viewpoints and ideas. You want to do nothing of the kind. What you want to do is fire me.
Mr. Moreau, I am not a heartless man.
No, a heartless little boy, perhaps.
I didn't have to come over here in person, you know. I could have taken care of this whole thing with a phone call. Or worse yet, a letter.
Oh, indeed you could have and would have if I hadn't refused your phone calls and sent your letters back unopened and slammed the door in the face of countless emissaries from your office. You came here tonight because you finally figured out I wouldn't accept my walking papers from anyone but you. You came tonight because I wanted you.
Ah! How many of these monsters you got here?
Breakfast, that.
And this one talks.
This one also has a great left hook.
Yeah, I can see it sitting right there over your mouth.
This is Miss Yorknester, or have you gentlemen already met my housekeeper?
I ain't never met anything like that before.
Maria, Mr. Pierce and I have many things to talk about. Why don't you take Maxie into the kitchen for something to eat? You could stand a little refreshment, could you, Maxie?
If I can stand this, I can stand anything.
What for? Craig got it over your head, you boy, my maniac play.
All right, Maxie, but try to make it quick and try to act like a gentleman, all right?
With him, it would have to be an act.
Now, Maria, that's not like you at all. Show a little courtesy towards our guest.
As little as possible.
I think I'll have some wine.
Huh. You have a nice leafermesh.
No, I'd rather have the wine.
Oh, you duck.
What kind of coffee?
I've never seen Maria so put out. I hope Maxie doesn't affect all women that way, or I hope he's very fond of men.
Now, what was it we had so much to talk about?
You know, I'm trying to remember why I never saw you around the studio. What did you do before you went here?
If you must know, I was an accountant.
Perfect credentials for a studio head, but the worst for a movie maker. Why did you fire Dick Evans?
I don't think that's any of your business.
I understand he disagreed with you over a stunt in the movie.
You understand correctly.
So you fired him and had the stunt on your way.
Well, here's what it would have cost me over...
And how many days shooting did you lose when the stunt backfired?
It was a difficult stunt.
And how many people were injured?
If you know, why are you even asking?
Because Dick never got the chance to say I told you so. Of course, he's not the type of person that will get any enjoyment out of such a petty thing. But I am. You know why your father was so good at his job?
I'm sure you're going to tell me.
Because he let other people do their jobs. He hired the best there was and gave them the freedom to do what they did best. Your father loved the movies, but more importantly, loved the people who made the movies. He loved me.
Well, he was never too wild about me.
I'm sorry to hear that.
He kept me hidden away in the mailroom, so he could have his $1 million toy to himself. When I complained about that long enough, I got kicked upstairs to the scenery shop. And then after a few years, he was playing with his starlets while I was playing in the prostitute. And until the time he died, I was chained to a desk in the accounting office.
So I imagine there's little glamour in adding up accounts payable.
No glamour at all, as a matter of fact. It took a funeral to get me where I wanted to be.
We lost a good man at that funeral. Went before his time, too young.
Well, if you're done with the eulogy, I'll be on my way.
That's Mr. Pierce.
Look, Mr. Moreau, the only reason I've let you rave on and on is because, as the saying goes, don't give up my nose. I now own a major motion picture studio. And you are a has-been.
Mr. Pierce.
Yes?
Oh, nothing. Hubert strikes again. I really should have put him down in the basement somewhere, but he's such a wonderful conversation piece. Oh, in you go, Hubert. You're right, you know,
About what?
about me being a has-been an antique. But even an antique has value, Mr. Pierce.
Not to me. I fancy the modern style myself.
The last 2 horror films you made, how much did they cost?
Who said they lost money?
I'll tell you how much they lost. Every cent you put into them from the first rolling to the last cut. Not to mention the cost of post-production and promotion.
Which you just mentioned.
And I can tell you why they lost it, if you want to know.
Gee, you and my father must have gone to the same school. You know the one where they teach you all the answers.
I never said I had all the answers. I don't know how a light bulb works. And I can't balance my checkbook. And I never quite got the hang of laboring a baby. Always had one corner left over. But if you want to know how to get people into a theater and then scare the living gibbets out of them, I'm the man to ask.
Then why were your last couple of films so bad?
Because people stopped asking me how to make them better. You know what goes on in that studio today. The script goes in front of the cameras before the ink dries. You get 3 weeks to put on film what used to take 3 months. You don't get the time to ask if you're doing it right. You barely have time to ask for your next line.
We don't have time for the old ways anymore. People today are not impressed by ghosts and vampires. They want Godzillas and creatures from the Black Lagoon, flying saucers and teenage monsters.
Oh, I can hardly wait for your next picture. The Attack of the Giant Pimple.
Cynthia, I've learned my lesson. Man wasn't meant to mess with me.
I've got to change with the times, and if that means giving the people what they want,
You
then...
can educate your audience as well as cater to it.
Not in the business of educating audiences. I'm trying to save a studio.
And I'm trying to save an art form.
Well, I'm sorry. You're too late. The monster with no face is now the monster with no audience.
Don't say that in front of Hubert. You'll depress him.
Oh. Oh, I'm very sorry, Hubert. But it's true. Maxie!
Mr. Pierce, what if I could convince you that the old ways are still the best?
What do you mean?
What if I could prove to you that my methods of horror could still work with today's audience? And that given the freedom to do it my way, I could scare the shenanigans out of anyone. I could even scare you. Boogie, boogie, boogie!
In other words, you and my father were right, and that I'm wrong. Maxie!
Do you have an hour? I've worked for your studio since before the talkies. I think you could give me an hour.
Gel boss?
Maxie, how long will it take you to change the front tire?
Oh, I don't know. It's awful dark out there. I can't change a tire in the dark.
I can provide the light.
Oh, great thoughtful, Maria.
Oh, wonderful. Liberace's nightmare.
How long, Maxie?
10 minutes?
All right, get started.
I cannot understand you.
You're lucky. Ah! It's really dark out tonight, boss. What's that?
That is nothing.
Nothing. It's another monster.
It's a gargoyle.
Oh,
You know what is gargoyle?
sure. Listerine, laborious.
Right.
She thought she had me, boss.
Always heart-wrenching to see the beginnings of puppy love.
You have 10 minutes.
Only 10.
All I've got.
All right. At that time, one of three things will happen. Either I'll convince you that my methods are effective, or I won't convince you.
What's the third possibility?
That you'll tell me I haven't convinced you and you'll steal my methods anyway.
You calling me a thief?
No, a producer.
What's in all of this for you?
Well, scaring you in itself would be rewarding enough. But there is still the outside chance that you may want to give me my truck back.
So, this is, in effect, an audition.
An audition? Good Lord, I haven't auditioned for anyone since Shakespeare. Luckily, Will liked my work.
You have 8 minutes.
If I do succeed in scaring you, you're under no obligation to give me back my means of employment. All I want to know is whether or not, for one short span of time, I made your heart stop beating.
You'll be the first to know.
Actually, fear is one of my favorite emotions. Perhaps what I like best about it. Perhaps what I like best about it is its honesty. Lust is a greedy emotion, and jealousy is evil. And a person may not know whether he's in love or not. Fear, just pure feeling. And to induce that feeling in someone, why, it's almost better than sex.
Oh, really?
Note the word almost. Of course, I'm trusting to my memory on that.
I see.
I mean, I haven't scared anyone in a while.
I should warn you, I've never been frightened by any of your movies.
No.
Oh, no. You made me laugh. You, Lugosi, Karloff, Lon Chaney, Jr. You all frighten me about as much as the Three Stooges.
That's interesting. Three Stooges always scared the hell out of me.
What are you doing?
Your first lesson concerns mood.
Oh, I see it. Putting out the lights puts people in a scary mood.
Do you know anything about burlesque?
Burlesque?
In burlesque, there's a setup and a punch. A straight man says, "Waiter, there's a fly in my soup." And the comic answers, "And get your pants out of the bowl."
Why are we talking about this?
God forbid that the straight man says, "Waiter, there's a steak in my soup," because it's tough to tie that in with the comics pants. You know, in a movie, the mood is the setup. You can't muck it up. You must take your time and choose your words and pictures carefully. For instance, you see that small box on the coffee table?
That cigarette box?
Yeah, don't touch it. Not till I've told you about it.
Do you mean it doesn't contain cigarettes?
Oh, it might. Or it might hold something quite different.
Such as?
When I was in Africa, shooting a film many years ago, we were forced to sleep in pup tents. Now, being of an age where privacy was all important, I had my own. Due to the heat and the working conditions, I had a great deal of trouble sleeping. So the company physician gave me a powder that I took at bedtime. Quite effective. In fact, it was so effective that I slept through the night that a storming bull elephant charged our camp. It ripped through tents and threw people about like so many pieces of cordwood. Finally, one of the stuntmen brought out his elephant gun and got off one good shot. Killed it dead. Well, I'll be damned if the thing didn't fall down right in front of my tent. Well, the vibrations of the beast hitting the jungle floor finally woke me up. And an entire tribe of natives watched in amazement as this scrawny little actor calmly crawled out of his tent, climbed over this dead elephant, relieved himself, climbed back into his tent to go to sleep.
And you didn't know what had happened?
I was very drugged at the time, but the thought did cross my mind that this was perhaps the largest audience I had ever had for a bodily function. But I put it off to some heathen custom.
And the box?
Oh yes, the box. Well, the natives were so impressed with my bravery that the witch doctor cut out the eyes of that elephant and placed them in that hand-carved box and presented it to me. Said it would always bring me luck.
You mean that box contains...
Well, that or cigarettes. Yep. Deviled egg.
Deviled eggs?
Would you like one?
You keep deviled eggs in a cigarette box?
Only when I tell my elephant story.
You set me up.
I set the mood. Boogie, boogie, boogie.
But you didn't frighten me.
No, then I didn't want to. Had I wanted to frighten you, I would have created a different mood. Next lesson, humanity.
Humanity in a horror film.
Most important, you must care about the monster.
But monsters are for scaring people. We have Doris Day for people to care about.
You were better off with King Kong. People cared about him because he didn't get the girl. They cared about Frankenstein because he was a beast. So, once you get people caring about the monster, you got them involved. Once you get them involved, you get them forgetting that it's a movie. Once you get them forgetting that it's a movie, then it's real. And when it's real, you can scare the hell out of them.
Me.
Positively. Next lesson, suspense. The best part of a horror film isn't being scared.
Oh, wait a minute. I thought you just said...
It's waiting to be scared.
I don't understand.
If you put this beautiful girl in this house, and she walks around the corner, and she walks in to say, Hubert, well, you've got to scare her. But if the audience knows that Hubert is in the house before the girl does, you not only have got to scare, you've got them waiting for it.
I don't follow.
All right? Example. Keep your eyes on me. Under no circumstances, here, I'll play fair. I won't even look at you. Now, you are both the character and the audience.
How can I do that?
Keep looking at me. Now, you as a character, enter in this haunted house. You, as the audience, knows that there are beasties in this house, and you surmise that it's only a matter of time before the character gets hit.
All right, I'm with you so far.
Good. Now, no matter what, do not turn around. There is something behind you that is slowly but surely coming closer and closer to you. It is definitely not human.
Well, what is it?
Doesn't matter what it is. It only matters is that it's present and it wants you.
I can almost feel it.
Good. Use all of your senses to feel where it is behind you.
Yeah.
Now feel that it's getting closer.
I can almost hear it.
Perfect. Now feel with all of your mind that this thing is after you. It harbors evil, and it admits danger and death.
And salami.
Now at that point where you first felt its possible presence, to the point where you actually see it, that is the suspense. Ah!
Mr. Monroe, you can't fool me like that. I learned that trick way back in elementary school. Hey!
What's a beer, boss?
I would have preferred it in a glass.
What are you screaming about? Oh, someone must have looked at him.
I was just teaching Mr. Pierce a thing or two about horror. You may leave us, the lesson isn't over yet.
Oh, yes, it is.
But Mr.
Jackson,
Pierce-
all set to go?
Yeah, boss.
Mr. Monroe, I'm afraid class is dismissed, and so are you.
But
No, it's you, don't you see? Continental Studios no longer requires your service. It doesn't need your makeup kit, or your false fangs, or your phony psychic ability.
You take that back.
What?
You take that back. Do you hear
What?
me? I have always had psychic powers, always.
You know, I think that has always bothered me the most about you. That after playing with make-believe ghosts at the studio all day long, you come home and conjure up some real ones. I mean, I have picked up so many publicity in my day, but this psychic crap is the corniest promotion campaign I've ever seen.
Boss, I think he's getting mad.
Turn up behind. Ah! You listen to me, you little glorified accountant. I will allow you to fire me because that is within your rights as my employer. But I will not allow you to belittle me in my own home.
Mr. Monroe, I...
Silence!
No, Mr. Monroe, not tonight. Take the ugly one with you.
What's the matter with him?
Maria,
Yes, Mr. Monroe.
dress the table.
Wouldn't it be
Set
better?
4 chairs. You will be staying for the seance, won't you, Mr. Pierce?
Seance?
Oh, I don't like
Is
this.
this another part of the lesson?
The lessons are temporarily suspended. You have insulted my integrity, and to avenge my reputation, I will call on a few spirits tonight.
Oh, I don't like this at all.
You join us.
Look, don't you think we played enough games for one evening?
No games. I will be bringing back the souls of those persons long dead.
Oh, good.
Mr. Monroe, you know what a crazy session. You may not
Mr.
be
Pierce, will you be joining us?
I won't allow it.
Your permission is not required.
Boss, we can get out of here. The car's all set.
Mr. Pierce, will you accept my invitation?
Yeah.
We beat you later.
Good. I am going upstairs to prepare. Maria, see that all is ready by 10 o'clock.
Mr. Monroe. Mr. Pierce, you have made a great boo-boo. You are one.
Well, boo-boo. before the show starts?
Yeah, but I don't like this!
This is a close-up of Corwin hiding behind the curtain.
He's not coming. He's not coming yet. He's still looking to see if you're looking this way.
Okay, camera's off. Camera's off.
He's gonna run.
Yeah, it's off. Wait for the show to start.
There she goes.
That's her head.
But you got more people in the audience than the us.
That's Jeff.
You realize it.
Nothing. I was just looking at Mr. Moreau's collection here. I haven't seen all of his films, and he has some fascinating artifacts. But what movie did this come from? Huh?
Oh, that was from the movie Soul of a Killer. It's a tender story about the young boy who loses his heart for an older woman.
Oh. What's in this jar here?
His heart.
Oh.
We're not looking at these artifacts. We're looking for any device that might be used to simulate a seance.
I was doing no such thing. Mr. Rogers has a fascinating collection. What movie did this come from?
That was a promotional giveaway from the movie The Walking Grain.
Walking?
Yeah, walking.
Oh. And they gave these out at the door of the theater.
Yeah.
Well, what do you do with it? It's just a rubber brain with a candle sitting in the middle of it.
I'll show you. Oh. There.
Now what?
Now, blow your brains out.
Bubba! Boy, they really had some idiots working in the studios in those days, huh? But like I said, that brain was really clever.
Did you find any?
Find any what?
Wires, speakers, projectors.
No. I mean, no, I wasn't looking for any of those things. Oh, what movie did that come from?
But
That rubber tarantula out there, what movie did that come from? Nice shot.
of course. You realize that in a few moments, Mr. Moreau is going to come into this room, sit in this chair, and attempt to put himself in another dimension.
I can hardly wait.
Have you ever seen a person enter a trance?
Just once, when my uncle met Jane Mansfield.
Twice as normal. Respiration quickens. You become a defenseless lump of flesh.
Yup, that was my uncle.
In case you haven't noticed, Mr. Moreau is no longer a young man.
Oh, I don't.
What do you mean?
Look, Miss Youngnesson, let's get one thing straight right now. I'm not buying it. This whole thing is a setup. An elaborate one, I'll grant you, but a setup nonetheless.
And why would he bother to set you up?
Because I fired him, remember? Mr. Moreau would not accept his walking papers from anybody but me because he wanted me here. Well, I am not afraid of him, and I am not afraid of you, ma'am.
Excuse me. You cannot have a seance without this book.
Very interesting prop. I hope you'll return it when you're through.
It belongs to Mr. Moreau,
Oh, and where did he get it?
from the man who buried his wife.
Oh, I
Yeah. She died many years ago in the pond at the bottom of the hill.
The one I passed on the way up here?
Yeah. He was alone in the house. It was his first day off in peace. He was upstairs in his room, sleeping. It was the middle of the afternoon. But the curtains in that room, they're very heavy. They don't permit any light. Suddenly he awoke. He saw Nina standing at the foot of his bed. Thought it odd that he could see her so clearly. He thought it odd also that she was dripping wet. She looked at him with those sad, sad eyes, and she said, "Where were you? I called you. Why didn't you come to me?" He got off the bed and she was gone.
A dream.
Neighbors a mile away could hear his screams of anguish. They found her body floating in the pond, not 10 feet from the dock.
In the book?
As we walked the bank
Go on.
As we walked away from the grave, one of the diggers came up to us with this book. He said, "Use it, and you needn't ever say goodbye to her again." And we walked away.
And that's what got him started on seances, huh?
Yeah. He's never spoken with Nina.
Why not?
Mr. Moreau has called back numerous spirits, but never his wife.
Why not? Was the line busy?
Mr. Pierce! This is not a telephone directory, and a seance is not the next diary. You never know who it is you're going to pull back. It could be a loved one. Or it could be evil. Which is why he gave up.
Gave up.
Yeah. He has not touched this book in 2 years. But now, thanks to you, he will touch it again. Why are you staring at me?
Monsieur Castoradi, you're an excellent storyteller, and this whole thing...
Oh, it's not true. Excuse me. I must get new candles.
Boss! Hey, boss! Look what I found!
All right, Nax, you can bring it home, but I'm not feeding it or changing the papers.
Big baboon!
Really, miss, he's not that big.
Ah, thanks, boss.
Anytime now, who is she?
Elizabeth Gordon! Lizzie to my friends! Oh, Elizabeth!
I found her sneaking into the trunk of the car.
I got snort and you sneaking out!
You were hiding in the trunk all the way out here?
Lizzie Gordon,
Yeah, like the hundred fighters, touchy, huh?
you're an actress.
The best there is! I've been trying to see you ever since I got in from Jersey!
New Jersey actress, even better.
Hey, what part of New Jersey you from?
Nancy!
You know, you're a lot younger than I expected.
Really?
Well, I mean, haven't you been running your studio for almost 50 years?
No, that's my father.
Oh, gee, Mr. Pierce, I'm real sorry about calling you a baboon.
My father is dead. This is my chauffeur.
Oh, well then you're still a baboon.
Boss!
Miss Gordon,
Hey, now this is some neat place you got here.
this is not my place.
Oh, well, who's it belong to? The Eggman?
Boss!
Miss Gordon,
I can't believe I went to all that trouble and this isn't even your home.
may I ask why you went to all the trouble?
Well, I mean, don't you have girls showing up around you all the time?
No, you're the first, but then again, I knew all of this.
See, I want to get into the movies.
Here's a new line.
Why come to me?
Boy, you all know it, aren't you?
Miss Gordon, I have any number of casting directors and producers who handle actresses.
Yeah, they handle actresses all right.
See, I always say the best way to get ahead in life is to start at the top. Well, here I am.
Well, there you go. Next, I'd like to take Miss Gordon and bring her home.
To New Jersey?
What the heck was that?
That wasn't the housekeeper, was it?
Not unless she's had an operation.
Maria? Maria, was that you?
What are you, a ventriloquist?
Is there somebody else now?
Are our residents.
This is Elliot Wilkins. You brought me to him.
Mr. Pierce, the phone is for you.
Thank you.
Both boss.
Thank you. Hello? No, we haven't found anybody for the series yet. television, and none of our stars want to do it. All right, I should be here for about another hour, so if you need me, just give me a ring. Or a scream. Never mind.
Hey, you need somebody for a TV series?
An established star for an anthology.
Well, give me 1 or 2 movies and don't be established.
Who is this girl?
Lizzie Borden.
Took an axe and gave her father 40 backs. Who is this girl?
Let's just say she's forgotten, but not gone yet.
Oh, come on, Mr. Pierce. I'm still got a nice body. I can even sing and dance if I have to. What's wrong with me?
Nothing I can see from here.
Why, I don't believe it. It's Alexander Monroe.
In the flesh, such as it is.
Mr. Monroe, I must have seen every movie you've ever made.
Oh, please accept my condolences.
My name is Elizabeth Ford. Call me Lizzie.
All right, Lizzie, and you can call me Mr. Moreau.
Oh, gee, thanks, Mr. Monroe. See, I used to watch your movies all the time when I was a kid. My mom is a great fan of yours, too. She used to watch your movies all the time.
I think that's enough genealogy.
You'll have to forgive him, Mr. Moreau. Miss Gordon was just leaving.
God! Oh, that's a shame. I would imagine any young lady who enjoys my movies would enjoy our little get-together.
Oh, I can stay.
Wonderful. Maria, set another chair.
And use mine.
Why, aren't you going to assist me?
Oh, how I feel about delving into this again. The area is prepared and everything is ready.
Maria, I need you.
I'm not going to witness you doing this.
Maria! Maria!
Hey, was it something I said?
No, it's something I did, or I'm about to do. Lizzie, could you help me?
Sure, I need help.
Come over to the table and I'll explain.
Maxie. Maxie, I want you to stay close to me. At the seance.
Oh, don't you worry about that.
And I want you to keep your eyes open.
Now that you might have to worry about.
And if you see anything unusual, I want you to be ready to reach out and grab it.
What?
On my signal, I want you to be ready to reach out and grab anything unusual you might see.
You're kidding.
I'm serious. On my signal.
On your signal.
You got it.
I don't want it. I'm not grabbing anything when I don't know what I'm grabbing. How do I know where it's been?
There's nothing to worry about.
Then you grab it.
Maxie, let me put this another way. Do it or you'll fight it.
Oh, well, since you put it to words that I can understand.
Do you guys know what he's planning on doing here tonight?
He ain't gonna bake cookies.
No, when I'm getting my cookies out of here.
Miss Gordon! You don't want to miss all the fun, do you?
Fun! He's gonna talk to dead people, and I'm a real right conversationalist when it comes to dead people.
You're an actress, aren't you?
Yeah?
Well, start acting like his assistant!
Why are you so anxious for him to move and who wiggle all this?
Let's just say I don't want to miss the performance.
Gentlemen and lady, all is ready.
Gordon? Maxie? Maxie? Maxie! What?
You two real good friends, huh?
Lizzie, the lights, please.
Could we leave them on?
The spirits live on the dark side, Maxie. They're not accustomed to the light.
And all the better to hide the wires with, my dear.
Non-believers are part of every seance, Mr. Pierce. Lizzie, light the candles.
Oh, it's dark. Boss, we gotta get out of here.
Light from the dark, dark around light. May they mingle and meld as we within netherworld
Oh, I don't like this.
join hands. Earth, wind, water, and fire, elements of our world to be cast aside. We ask for admittance to the next world. We call on the membership of the dead.
Gee, I didn't know it was a club.
Those whose eyes no longer see yet see all. We ask for admittance to the next world. We ask for the gates to be open. We ask for a sign.
How about no parking?
Visit us, doing under there?
Looking for this.
Oh,
Instant sound effects. Hook up the speakers out there. What do you have, high-powered fans and black lights too?
I truly thought there was a chance of scaring you.
Look, Mr. Moreau, I'm afraid you boogie-boogied your last boogie, and I don't mean woogie. I don't think you even scared the kid from Jersey.
What's wrong with her?
So that's me, I just met her, Miss Wood.
Boss!
What?
Boss!
Ha! I knew it had to be real.
She's real all right. Real dead.
What? Here, put her on the sofa.
Ah! Boss!
Max, it's a sofa! Come on! Are you sure she's dead? The no living, no breathing kind of dead?
Unless you know another kind.
Come on, man. Next. Next. Jump. Quick. Jump. Snap.
She's dead.
Oh,
Who is it, Moreau?
Maria.
oh, I was so scared and excited and all. I didn't even look. I just closed my eyes and I dove at her. I guess she hit her head on the patio out there. I didn't mean to do it, Mr. Moreau.
I know, Maxie. It's my fault. This whole ugly situation is my fault.
No pulse, nothing. She's dead, all right.
Oh,
Well, one dead body and one comatose female. Thank you, gentlemen, for a wonderful evening.
what do we do with her?
Let the police worry about that. When I get different sitting behind the guy who writes this one up.
She wanted to help me so much. Even with this silly little game, she wanted to help me.
Hey, I can't get a dial tone on this thing.
You mean it's dead?
I thought I might phrase that another way. That word's been so overused tonight. I don't understand. I used this note 10 minutes ago.
You have no need for the phone.
Welcome back, Sleeping Beauty.
You all right?
Lizzie is unharmed. She will return in due time.
What do you mean she? You're Lizzie.
We have taken control of her body.
Who is taking control of her body?
We,
Just what this body needs, split personalities.
you called us tonight. You spoke the ancient words and beckoned us from the netherworld.
Look, Miss Warden, one show tonight is enough. I'm not holding any more auditions.
The words I spoke for this book.
The
And you
words,
answered them by taking over Lizzie's body?
the words, the words, the words, the words.
Moreau, what the hell is going on?
Mr. Pierce, I never held a seance before. Tonight I went downtown to this bookstore and this man sold me this book. I thought the more authentic the words sounded, the better the chances of your accepting all this.
You think you accidentally called back some real spirit?
I don't know what I done. I opened the book up to a
Ah!
and started reading.
Well, fix it!
I don't know what damage
Boss!
I've done.
I don't care, she's your patient, you fix it!
Boss, your patient's moving.
What?
Look.
Lizzie, Miss
Silence!
Boss!
The spirits are angry with you, Alexander Moreau. You have used our world and our customs for your selfish gain. You have used the words for revenge. You have blasphemed.
You didn't realize I didn't
Ignorance is your
Boss, how is
excuse.
she doing that?
One does not enter the netherworld unless one is prepared to face the consequences. You have entered our world. Now you will be punished.
What are those voices? The woman down in
As a result of your mockery, a human life was lost. You killed one of your own kind.
It was an accident.
The spirit world has decided your fate. All of those here this evening, including this body, will join us.
Boss, it means that.
Before the clock strikes 12, you will all be one of us.
No, we're not really talking
Boss, am I still alive?
You better be, because if you died, we went together. That's not heaven.
Mr. Morrow!
Lizzie. Lizzie, is it you?
Mr. Morrow! What happened to the seance? Did I do something wrong?
Oh my God. You were just fine.
Hey, the body's gone.
Oh, boss, please tell me this is all a trick.
It's all a trick. A tree.
What are you talking about? What body?
You don't remember any of this?
The last thing I remember was the seance. I mean, what happened after that?
Let's just say it's possible we have people in high places very angry with us.
And they've extended an invitation for us to join them.
Before the clock strikes 12.
I don't understand. What happens at midnight?
When all
up corn threatening some
I've been home for the cameras, okay? Take it off me.
There's Paul, there's Paul. Okay. Ron Nicolosi, doing a wonderful job taking orders. Kofi Alexis Jones, soon to be a major motion speaker. Beverly Mazzoli, to see her climbing up to land the sound and light group is an event not to be missed. And because once never enough, Ron Nicolosi, Director, Lighting Tech, and Sex Screening Act. And let's just not forget the amazing Red Purdy. Yes, indeed. Just when you thought it was safe to come back to the theater. Let's go for a close-up of the mustache. Yes, look at the angle. Look at that detailing. Yes, folks. Going to pull back to get the full effect of the mustache, the nose, and the belly wrap. Yes. Let's go right for the belly. Yes, here's the belly.
Poor Hubert. All dressed up and nowhere to go.
Boss! That body ain't nowhere around here. I need a drink.
I took the last class. There aren't any more. Did you look everywhere for the body?
Well, almost everywhere. I really need a drink.
What do you mean? Almost everywhere. Did you look outside?
You kidding? It's dark out there.
Did you look upstairs?
Oh, well, Lizzie took Mr. Moreau up to his room to lay down. I didn't want to disturb him.
They have a basement in the house.
Yeah, they got a basement. You kidding? It's dark down there.
Maxie, you just said you looked almost everywhere for the body. Now, where do you know for a fact that the body is not?
Well, I'm pretty sure it ain't in this room.
That narrows it right down.
Yeah, well, I could really use a drink. You sure there aren't any more glasses?
Not in this room at any rate. Maxie, if you don't even look around for the body, how can you be Would you like some ice with that? Don't like it on the rocks, huh?
Makes it hard to swallow.
Feel the same way about you most of the time.
Now, what were you talking about?
What a walking body.
Walking?
Never mind, I don't understand. Lizzie was over there and Maria was here on the couch.
You felt the pulse, didn't you?
No, I felt the lack of it. She was dead all right.
So how could a dead lady walk away?
Well, she couldn't. Unless there's somebody else in this house. Somebody we haven't met yet.
Somebody else in this house? Oh, I don't
I
like
know. Maxie, you go warm up the car.
You mean we're leaving?
Yes, you go warm up the car and I'll go check on Lizzie.
And maybe Mr. Moreau would like to go too.
Oh, goody. Then we can all play Chinese fire drills at the stoplight.
You mean it?
Go warm up the car.
Or maybe I'll make myself one more drink.
Here. Knock yourself out.
Thanks, boss. You take soda in yours? Thanks, boss.
Maxie, one sip and leave.
Thanks, boss.
Where's Maxie?
You mean the human mix master? He went out to warm up the car.
You're not leaving without me, are you?
No, you're welcome to join us.
Oh, good. Oh, Mr. Pierce,
Yes?
I have a confession to make.
Yes?
You see, I'm not really an actress.
You're not!
No. I mean, if you call smiling behind the point of Conrad Woolworth, well, in that case, I get the Academy Award.
Well, you've never actually done
No. See, people used to tell me I got a nice face and a cute figure, and I felt real good, you know.
Yes.
And I spent all
tonight?
You mean like by speaking in another voice and the spirit coming to get into the door?
Yes.
No.
How'd you know?
Oh, Mr. Morrow told me I'm really scared.
Well, don't worry. I figured out a way out of all of this.
Uh-huh.
Yes, just click your heels together 3 times and say, "There's no place like home. There's no place like home."
Boss!
Yes,
Boss!
you all set to go?
I don't think so, boss.
Why, what's wrong?
The car's all wormed up.
Okay, good. Let's go.
But it's all wormed up.
Of course it is. I said, George, warm it up.
Oh, it's not warmed up. It's wormed up.
Okay, what are you talking about now?
I tried to start the engine, but nothing happened, so I lifted up the hood to see if the battery was all right. That's when I found the engine was all wormed up.
Warmed up?
Yeah, the engine's gone. It's just all dirt and little worms crawling through it. It's all wormed up.
Yeah.
You simply wayside.
Here we go again.
The worms have eaten your vehicle's mechanism, just as they will be eating you when the clock strikes 12.
Why do I feel like I've been here before?
Unusual weather
When the
happening.
chimes of midnight ring out, you will all be food for worms.
They wouldn't like that. They're very high in cholesterol.
And one of you is joining us now. Look!
Does this help?
No.
What can I do?
You could get me out of here.
Just as soon as Maxie gets back.
Where'd he go?
He went to see about Mr. Moreau.
What's there to see when I saw he was looking like sheep after
Boss! Boss!
Maxie, what did you find out?
Boss, what happened to him did not happen from the sheet around his neck.
How can you tell?
Boss, his head was twisted around backwards.
All right, Maxie.
He really could have scratched his back with his tongue.
All right, Maxie.
He really had eyes in the back of his head.
All right, Maxie, I got the picture.
Yeah, well, you didn't have to look at him. What do we do now?
We fold our tents and steal away into the night.
You mean we're going camping?
I mean, we're getting out of here.
Oh, now you're talking. But we don't have a car.
Then we'll take one of Moreau's cars.
I didn't see any. The garage was all empty.
Well, then we'll walk.
In the dark?
Unless you prefer to wait around until midnight for the boogeyman to get us.
We walk.
We don't want to say anything until you're upset.
Right.
So we have to stay calm.
Calm.
Stay cool. Cool. Stay collected. Calm.
Come.
Maxie, how's Mr. Morrow?
Oh, don't! What's that? He's resting. He wants us to go out and get him a doctor. All of us.
You're lying. He's dead, isn't he?
Well, yes, but there's no reason to think that's going to happen to us.
But the car is
We're going to walk.
in the dark.
Piece of cake.
Right.
Devil's food.
Max, would you get my coat, please?
Oh, sure thing, boss.
Are you sure this is the right thing to do?
This is the only thing to do.
Ah! Boss!
Maxie, I told you that's just a wax dummy.
Yeah, well, this is the last time this wax dummy scares me. Oh, boss!
Hey, the phone's working again. Hello? right, Spencer. Gotta get a hold of yourself. Take a nice, deep breath and run the hell out of here.
You're not trying to leave us so soon.
Hello?
Mr. Pierce, the party has only just begun.
Party?
Certainly. Oh, well, missing is the guest of honor.
Guest of honor? Moreau, is that you?
In the flesh. Oh, excuse me. Force of habit. I'm not in the flesh anymore. You will find it a refreshing experience to be without it, Mr. Pierce.
I've kind of gotten used to it, thanks.
That will pass. All things will pass.
I'm about to pass out. Moreau, where are you?
I'm no longer of your world, Mr. Pierce.
Oh, what have you got with Maxie, Ed, and Lizzie?
They are here, as is my wife, and Maria. Now all that's missing is you. Won't you join us?
Thanks, but, no thanks.
Then in that case, we'll have to come and get you.
Mr. Moreau! Don't leave me! Don't come in either. What?
We'd like to say one thing before you join us.
What?
Boogie, boogie, boogie!
You mean you're alive?
In the flesh, such as it is.
Lizzie?
Uh-huh.
And Maria?
Yeah.
Maxie, you're alive too?
Sure thing, boss.
Wrong, you were alive.
Were?
Yep, because I'm gonna kill you.
Mr. Pierce, please, Mr. Pierce.
What?
It's not his fault. I asked him to do this. Oh,
You mean you knew Lizzie before tonight?
I've known Lizzie all her life. Permit me to introduce my daughter, Elizabeth Moreau.
I mean, it's my pleasure, Mr. Pierce.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, then Maria doesn't talk like that either.
Talk like that.
Never mind. Wait a minute, I felt your wrist. There was no pulse.
And that's it.
Straight.
Correct. Wonderful powers of observation. You see, we were prepared for any contingency.
Wait a minute, what about that stuff with your wife?
Lives in Pasadena on my alimony. She's no ghost, a witch perhaps, but no ghost.
Mr. Moreau's been planning all this for months.
Well, I'm sorry to disappoint all of you.
What do you mean?
I mean, I wasn't frightened.
But I saw you shaking.
You saw me acting. Now, if I had really been frightened, I'd be the first one to admit it and give this man his job back. But the fact of the matter is, I wasn't.
I smell something rotten.
Now, Maria, Mr. Pierce is an honest man, and had I truly frightened him, I'm sure he would give me my job back. Correct, Mr. Pierce?
Absolutely.
Well, perhaps someday I'll scare him. Doubleday. When do I start back?
Monday.
Excellent.
I have a new job for you.
What's that?
Host of a television anthology.
Television?
A horror anthology, to be exact. The hours are easy and the pay is good. What's more, you'll stay in the public eye. What do you say?
I say I'll think about it. Now, Maria has prepared a delicious meal out in the kitchen.
Oh, that's for me. Scaring people gives me a big appetite.
Then you must be hungry all the time.
Oh, Maxie, I guess not everything about you two is an act, huh?
Oh, no, boss. Maria and I get along pretty good.
Maxie, give me a hand, will ya?
Who's doing what?
Special effects. Oh, Mr. Pierce, why don't you stop by my office sometime and I'll show you some more tricks.
Mr. Pierce,
Yes.
this thing television, do you really think it'll last?
Frankly, no. Well, what the hell? We might as well work the mine until the vein runs out.
I've always done well with veins. Perhaps, just perhaps, you've given me the best of both worlds. Staying before the public and yet not working so hard. The movies were begin to wear on these old bones.
You know, Mr. Moreau, my father always said that compromise is the hardest part of the business. The most rewarding. Perhaps we found our compromise.
Perhaps. And perhaps if you'll think about it, you'll remember some of the good things your father told you. You don't always need a seance to hear people from the grave.
Mr. Moreau,
Yes, Mr. Pierce.
thanks.
Boy, keep.